Welcome everyone to Food for Thought Friday. I'm Tanner Maxwell, the Community of Champions, the Community Support Technician with Community of Champions. And today I'm your host. We have a very special guest joining us, Mrs. Julie Petty from Partners for Inclusive Communities. Julie has been with Partners since 2008 and is working on violence in prevention and intervention. In 2011, President Barack Obama appointed Julie to be a member of the President's Committee for People with Intellectual Disabilities, and then appointed her chair from 2014 to 2016. She has been the president of SABE and established Arkansas People First. She is married to Brian Petty and they have two sons, Logan and Warren. Welcome, Julie. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Tanner, for having me.
Um, I want to start by asking you self-determination. Yeah, can you hear her?
You want it? Can you hear me, Tanner? Are you there? So you wanted me to talk about what is self-determination?
I didn't know what to say because I can't.
Okay. You can't, you just tell them, okay, so you're having a little technical difficulty. You can't hear Julie.
I can't hear Julie.
Okay. So, hi, Allie. Allie, we can't hear you.
Hi, everyone. So, Tanner, you want Julie to speak about self-determination. Is that correct?
Yes, self-determination.
Allie, can you hear me okay, Allie?
I can. Go right ahead.
Okay. So, self-determination is about freedom, pride, and empowerment. And
no.
for people with
It's
disabilities, they don't always have the freedom to make their own choices or to have the life that they want. So self-determination is very, very important for people with disabilities.
That's really good information to share with self-advocates. It seems like that's really the foundation that they need to start with.
Yeah, you're right. You know, people, the reason why it's so important is people are born with rights. And so people need to be supported to decide what they want in their life and to know their rights and to know that they have those rights. Everybody gets to decide what self-determination is for themselves. You know, this is something you have to work at every day. I think there are different stages of self-determination, and it depends on the person. Everybody is an individual. I wanted to tell people who don't know me, I have cerebral psychology, that's my disability, and everybody with CP, we're all different. Everybody with a disability is different, and what self-determination means to me might be different for other people. Some people might want to get married. Some people just might want to live in their own apartment. And self-determination includes having the right support that you need to live the life you want. People with disability need to have allies to help them. So
I want to interrupt you, and I'm sorry to do that, but I just want to stop you right there and make sure that I'm clear about something. Part of self-determination is taking ownership of that disability and understanding it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's part of who you are, and it's really a natural part of human development. Is that true?
I agree with that. Yes, disability is a natural part of life. There's nothing to be ashamed about. And people with disability, no matter what your disability is, we don't want to be pitied.
Right.
We don't want to be labeled. We don't want to have stereotypes. We want to be able to live the life we want. So.
I completely understand what you're saying. And to take that ownership is when you really find out what your needs are. And when you find out what your needs are, you can start growing and figure out what your goals are and how to meet your goals.
Yeah, and one thing I learned many years ago about self-determination, it's okay to tell people what you want, but not only what you want, what you need to get there. Because we all need support.
Right.
We all need help. It's okay to ask for help. So.
Definitely. That is probably a key step, that how you need to get there. I think that's a key step that a lot of people miss out on. You knowing that yourself is going to help you reach that goal, help you reach that next step. And if you can do that the way you want to, the way you know that's going to help you get there, instead of someone else making those steps up for you, giving you the tools, you making those rules for yourself, I think that the process will be easier for you, and you'll kind of have the journey that you want.
Yeah, basically making a informed decision.
Yes.
Getting all the information together. We need people to give us information, and then we need to decide for ourselves.
So really what I'm getting out of this is self-determination isn't something that you find, it's something that you practice every day.
Yes.
Wonderful. So really
it's not easy, Allie. It can be scary. It was scary for me when I started, but the key, like I said earlier, the key was I had support. And I have people who believed in me, who believed I could do it. And sometimes for people with disabilities, it's hard to be a self-determined person because we do have people who label us and put it down, So you have to go above that and believe in yourself.
Okay. I think that's I think that's really important. We've got some people asking where Tanner went. He was having just a little bit of technical difficulty, so we are waiting for him to get back on. And so when he does, we'll put him right on there. And we'll let him finish asking those questions. So because we know that he's got a lot of great questions for Julie. Julie, you said that you had a lot of people that were helping you in that journey when you started out. Were they family members? Were they teachers? Or were they allies? Who actually aided you in that journey?
Actually, they weren't family members. I mean, my family was always very supportive, but as I got out of high school and got involved in self-advocacy movement, it was we call them advisors,
Okay.
allies of the self-advocacy movement, because my disability, I'm pretty independent, but I need physical help every now and then. And every time I would ask for help, I would apologize. I would say, I'm sorry, but will you help me? And self-determination taught me, and my allies taught me, I don't have to say I'm sorry to ask for help. It's okay to get help. So.
And you know, you and Sharice have really been working with me, and just like going to some of your seminars in my self-determination journey with my anxiety and with my OCD, and learning that I don't have to apologize for trying to thrive in those situations in my life. And even on the days where I'm not thriving, where I am suffering, where it's a bad day for me, that I don't have to be sorry that it's a bad day for me. And so it's really helped me a lot to learn to almost exercise it like it's a muscle.
Yeah, we all, disability or no disability, we all have bad days. I was having one the other day. So we all have bad days, especially in the unique time that we are in right now. So.
Yes, it's definitely rapidly changing for everyone. And so, you know, we see it on Facebook a lot. We're in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat. So everyone's going their different directions right now. And it might be a little bit of a bumpier ride for other people. So we've got to be respectful of that. I do know that Tanner wanted to talk to you about your Give Respect, Get Respect seminars that you take part in teaching.
Yes, I would love to share with you guys about Give Respect, Get Respect. We, you know, at Partners where I work, we have many different grants. And one of our grants is on safety and environment prevention. And part of that grant is to educate people with disabilities and to support people separately. So Give Respect, Get Respect is the training, I call them classes, that we do for people with disabilities. What it is about is healthy relationships. So what we did is we got a group of self-advocates together, and we asked them, what would you guys want to know about healthy relationships? So they told us, well, first of all, we want you to define what a relationship is, and then we talk about healthy versus unhealthy
Mhm.
And then we talk about how to set boundaries and to learn to trust the gut. Trust your gut feeling. And the reason why I feel these classes are so important because everybody has relationships, and
Yeah.
so we sometimes people with disabilities are not always taught what is healthy and what is unhealthy. So this is why I feel the classes are so important.
Hmm. Definitely. Tanner, we're so glad you're back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So I filled in a little bit for you while you were gone, but Julie was just breaking down the give respect, get respect portion of the seminars that she teaches. And Julie, we are really glad that you were able to go over that with us. And Tanner, thanks for letting me fill in for you. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that you were able to give
You're
me all
welcome.
the questions. That way I would be prepared. So, and I'm a big fan of Julie anyways. She inspires me to be a stronger advocate. She's really laid the foundation for me. And Julie, I always tell everyone that you're a superstar because you're always busy, always. But I tell everyone, you can't be empowered by Julie and not do anything because someday she's going to get tired and want to take a break. So we're behind her.
I'm tired
Someday. Here at Community of Champions, it's all about advocacy takes action. We have to be ready to do something. So if we want to, if you want to be our Elvis of advocacy, we've got to be ready to do something so you don't have to do everything. So that's how we feel about it. We want to be able to pick up your slack. So if you want to go on vacation, you can. So you don't have to worry about it when you leave.
Yeah, we need everybody. We need everybody to advocate. We need people with disabilities. We need our allies. That can Tanner hear us now, Allie?
Yes, I can hear you. Tanner, can you hear us?
I can.
No, not really.
No, not really.
Oh, we will turn anything. We'll put some comments up here on the screen. That way you can read what's going on and keep you updated, Tanner.
Allie, I wanted to say another thing about give respect classes that we do is they're very important for people with disabilities to learn about healthy relationships because people with disabilities unfortunately are at a higher risk for violence.
Yes.
So if we are able to educate ourselves, then we can stop the violence and stop people getting hurt,
100%. And trusting that gut feeling and that violence, all of this really wraps up into one, doesn't it?
Well, it all goes back to self-determination and self-advocacy.
Mm-hmm. It really does. I'm really seeing how it's really a strong foundation that builds up into a house that can protect you almost, if a figure of speech.
Right.
But that's how you build a strong advocate or a strong self-advocate. You give them the tools to use when it's the time to use it.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about trusting your gut, can you give us just some tools to do that?
Well, I think after the pandemic is over, maybe I can just come and teach a class.
Oh, we would love that. We would love that.
That would be one thing that I will give you if you learning to trust your gut. If you get a bad feeling about a situation or someone, you need to have, we ask people to have at least 2 people they trust who they can go to talk to. So it's very important because sometimes when people try to speak up and tell something doesn't feel right, people don't always believe them.
That's true.
So we really need to have people in our lives who will believe us. And so when we teach our classes, we ask people to identify a couple of people they can go to who are their allies. So.
And Julie, we're actually seeing some of that in school-age children right now. Therapists are working with school-age children to really on communication skills and being able to communicate what they're feeling and what they're going through. And then when these children with disabilities, intellectual or developmental disabilities, come to you and tell them, or, you know, to tell anyone what's going on, and they're using the tools that they've been given, not everyone believes them. And then they're throwing these tools away because they feel like it's useless to them. And so
it's not only people with disabilities. You see it with women. You know, women, and now we have the Me Too movement, and more women are coming out about their abuse. And so you're right. It is sad when people try to speak up and people don't believe them. I could tell you many stories, and that's why I love to do the work I do, because my peers and another person with a disability, they feel more comfortable sometimes talking to me than they would a non-disabled person.
Right.
So.
Right. Definitely. Tanner, do you want to ask Miss Julie about the next step of questions that you had about when was the first time she thought about advocating for herself?
I can't hear what's being said.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
Well,
all garbled.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to take this question for you. I'm sorry you're having this difficulty. I know you really wanted to do this with Miss Julie. Well, his next question, Miss Julie, was when looking back on your advocacy journey, do you remember the first time you really thought, I'm going to have to advocate for myself? I can't depend on someone else to do this. Almost like your aha moment. I know this is going to have to be me.
Yes, I do. So my family was very supportive growing up, and when I turned 18, I decided to go to a private college.
Okay.
And I remember my mom and dad taking me to the college and moving my stuff into the dorm, and then they said, "Love ya. See you later."
Is that scary for anybody, isn't it?
I was like, wait a minute. And so, like I said earlier, I need physical help sometimes. So I had no idea who was going to help me in the cafeteria, who was going to help me do. I had to figure it out, you know, Allie. It was like, you've got to do this yourself, you know. And it was really scary, but I had to find natural supports, you know. So I think that was the first time I really had to start help them myself. So anyway.
So it was do it or go home, I guess, wasn't it?
Do it or
Oh.
go home. We spend a lot of money. No.
But you did it, and you did it enough that you, I guess, got better at it and got better at it and got better at it. But his next question was, did it come easy to you?
So I did go to college at 18, but I didn't get involved in the self-advocacy movement till in my mid-20s.
Okay.
And I really want to say that self-advocacy is a movement, you know, and after I got involved, it wasn't easy, you know. It was scary, but I did get involved, and I got involved on the national level, and that was a little scary, but I learned to believe in myself.
Mhm.
I learned that, like I said earlier, it's okay to ask for help.
Definitely.
And it's still not easy to be an advocate.
That's true.
The other day I spoke to, I was having a bad day, and
Mhm.
a good ally of mine shared with me this. I wanted to share it with you guys. Advocates make waves, and sometimes get called names, but it's okay. It's not about me. It's about the advocacy, you know? So I've been called a lot of names in my advocacy work. I've been called a troublemaker. So when you stand up for what you believe in, people don't always agree with you. So you can't take it personal, but it is very hard sometimes because I am only human.
Mhm.
We're all human. So,
Yeah, and what you said was really beautiful, and I think the reason it probably struck a lot of people, and I think because it's so true. If you're doing the work you want to do, you will make waves, and you'll attract the right people. And the people that are intimidated by it will sometimes bully you, and they will, and they'll use the thing that they know the best to try to intimidate you, and that it can't hurt. Just because you're out there trying to do the right thing doesn't mean that you don't have feelings and that your feelings can't get hurt. You're not made of steel. But we're all trying to do the same thing, and it's, grow the place that we live to its maximum potential for each other. So I really think that we can live in a better place, and I want to do it together.
Yeah. I'll make waves with you guys.
Anytime, huh?
I'll make waves.
Anytime. I do want to ask you, this wasn't on Tanner's list, but I want to ask you what true inclusion looks like to you.
That's a good question. that one in my notes. So,
well, that's a hard one. That might be for another time. This might be a long answer.
I think it goes back to self-determination, I mean, inclusion and self-determination. I have some friends with disabilities who don't want to be advocates.
Right.
They just want to live their life, have a job, and they're happy, So inclusion is really being a part of the community, being a part of everyday life, how you want to do it. do want to
Exactly.
do it. So
Exactly.
actually, I wish I had. We have a really good definition of it on Partners website. I should have memorized it, but
That's okay. What we'll do is we will look it up and we will put it in the comments section so everybody can see it.
it sounds good.
hmm So, what is one piece of advice, and this is one of Tanner's questions, what's one piece of advice that you would give to up and coming advocates?
So, I have a lot of advice.
All right, lay it on us.
My number one would be don't be afraid.
hmm
Don't be afraid to tell people what you want and what you need to have the life that you want and need.
Okay.
Don't be afraid. Even if sometimes, even if people don't agree with what you want and what you need, it's still your choice.
Mhm.
You know, it's still your choice. Don't take it personal when people try to bully you or don't agree with you. And try to I try to always do my best. I try to always do my best and stand up for what I believe.
Mhm.
Because like I said earlier, we're all human and we're all born with rights. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
I love it. Tanner and I have a rule. Go ahead, Tanner. I'm sorry, we couldn't hear you.
That is that is a great piece of advice, Julie, and our viewers, that are watching. I mean, hopefully they'll take that advice.
But I will remind you, it takes a lot of practice. I didn't get to be the self advocate I am today overnight. I had to practice. I had a lot of tears. I had to believe. Before when I would look in the mirror, all I would see was my disability. That we have to learn to look in the mirror and love the person we see in the mirror. So
I agree 100%. And I guess that's part of that self-determination, just to start accepting it, wipe out that shame, and not let anybody penetrate that work that we're doing.
and if we have a bad day, phone a friend.
100%.
I have a lot of friends, and you know who you are. That I call when I have a bad day. When I feel defeated.
You do have a lot of friends, Julie. You've got a lot of people that are saying some great things about you right now.
You've
got
that.
yes,
I like the one about making waves.
yes. Kim Molinaro said, Julie, thank you for being that wave in this ongoing movement. So, yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of great comments. Tanner, too. Tanner, everybody's disappointed because you weren't running this show. So you'll have to come again. Maybe you and Miss Julie can come on and cover another topic. So I know this isn't the only thing that you can cover, Miss Julie. So we all appreciate it.
We can talk about, I did one time for the Autism Self-Advocacy Network. I did a webinar for allies.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, wonderful.
So if you guys would, I already have it ready. So
Definitely. We'll bring you back for another Food for Thought Friday. I've enjoyed this. We can clearly tell by the comment sections that others have enjoyed this. We'll get Tanner out of the country. We saw that someone said that's what you get for living in the country, Tanner. You couldn't hear us, so we'll get that all cleared up for him. You know what? That's what we got to do. We got to roll with the punches. We can only do what we can do, but that's what we're here for. We want to give everyone the resources that they need to be a strong advocate. We can't ask them to be a champion if they don't know how. So that's what we're trying to do at Community of Champions, is help everyone have the tools they need to be a vital champion.
That is awesome. Good job, you guys. And
Well, we appreciate you.
thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate everyone. We appreciate you, Miss Julie. Tanner, thanks for being here with me. I appreciate you. You're such a great part of the team.
Thank you, and
Bye.
thank you, Julie, for joining us.
You're welcome. I'm sorry you had technical difficulty. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Tune in next week for the next Food for Thought Friday, and we'll have another special guest. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.